Hi, Giuseppe here. We're going to cover the feature of Refine Edge in Photoshop Elements. Sometimes when you try to select with the selection tool, when you have hair sticking out on the edges and everything, it's pretty difficult to capture all of the hair. So with the Refine Edge tool, we can do a big share of it pretty successfully. So let's get right into it. First, we start out by duplicating the image. That gives us a layer up here to work with, and you'll see why in a short time it's a good idea. Second, we're going to use the lasso tool instead of a quick select or the other type selection tools. And we're going to come close to the subject but not into it, and it makes this process pretty easy if we can just kind of stay real close to the hair but don't get into it and around it. So bear with me as we do this process. Just try to stay as close to the hair as you can and surround it best you can. There's a loop here. We want to try to get some of that in there, and very difficult if you use the selection tool to get little fine hair that kind of protrudes sometimes, and some of the hairstyles these days they're not very smooth but yet popular. Anyway, process is to surround it with the lasso tool. Now here we can go clear off the picture, down below the picture, and then back into where we began, and that completes the selection there. Okay, the next step is to select the Refine Edge option. Some versions of Elements don't display that right here, so if you don't see that, you can go to Select and Refine Edge and select it there. In the case that it's exposed here, we'll go ahead and select that. What's important here is in the View display to make sure that Overlay is chosen. There are other options here, but right for this process we want the Overlay, and we do not click the OK yet. Leave this display, and instead of the conventional brush over here, we'll revert to the use of the brushes here. This one is our main brush, and this is the undo brush. So with this one selected, we can also adjust the cursor size down here, where if you don't have the option to use the left and right bracket keys, sometimes it's handier, but if you don't have that, go down here and select the size you want, or you can use the drop down and select the size cursor that you want, about like so. And we're going to use the plus sign in the center, not the circle, as our indicator, and we'll start and just try to come as close to as possible to the subject with that crosshair, but not touching it. And just kind of use the left click down as you progress around the subject, and you can let go if you need to, like that, and reposition the mouse if you need to, and just kind of paint around like so. And mainly we're eliminating this white, but we don't want to go too deep into the hair, because then we're going to eliminate some of the hair. So here we're going along here. The process we're doing is what is involved to create a mask, and it's automatically creating a mask for us as we do this. So we're just about done here. Get down here and call that good. And go in here a little bit. So what we've done is allow the mask itself to move in and select a lot of the fine hair that we wouldn't have been able to do if you reduce the size of the mouse to get into those tight places and use the undo mouse brush, then we can go back in and try to regain an area like that. And where I've gone maybe just a little too far right there. Basically, that's pretty good for this demo anyway. Okay, now we need to go to Output 2. And we click on Selection, drop down to New Layer with Layer Mask. Select that, and now as we hit the OK, we'll see a new layer appear in the Layers panel with a mask beside it. Now that we have the new layer and the layer mask created, to see the background as it appears, if we click on the eye over here on the background photo, it exposes the background to us as a transparent background, and that's where our new background will be placed. We can add a background by several different means. You can add one of your own if you go through the File and Place feature and select any background of your choice of your own pictures and place. And of course, since this is a black and white photo, the background will also be black and white. Hit the OK, and to drag this down we use the left click on this layer, and we're going to drag it down on the layer below that until that line below here turns double. Watch the line now. Just turn double, so we let go of the left click, and there's our background placed behind, and we've got a lot of the hair detail preserved. Okay, you can add a variety of backgrounds, and you can also later manipulate with brightness and dark on your background to suit the subject, but this gives you a pretty good idea of how you can preserve a lot of the fine hair detail in a picture. And that just about winds our little demo up here. So till next time, this is Giuseppe. So long.